Hello fellow internet goers, you're watching this video for one of two different reasons. One of those reasons may be, you know, this channel and you want to come and see the videos. That's great. The other reason is because you accidentally stumbled on it and you've stayed on this far because you kind of want to know what I'm going to talk about, or maybe you read the title. I feel like on YouTube a lot of people share stuff from their past that maybe was funny or embarrassing and stuff, so I might just do that right now. If you haven't already guessed from the title, I'm going to talk about when I was in primary school and I got my trousers pulled down twice. Why twice? Why? And it was also within like a 2-week gap, so maybe it was just pull the person's trousers down time. I don't know. In any case, when I was in primary school, I completely forget what year, but I remember being quite young, like maybe like year 3 or something. And I was in the after school club, and that's not a club for cool people that stay on after school to like either work or play or whatever. No, that's when your parents are working extra time or whatever, so you've got to stay behind at school and have the worst possible time in school. You can see lots of games about and lots of fun stuff, but then you get closer and you realise that all the games are shit. And well, yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyway, back to the thing that we're going to talk about. There was I'm not going to say a pool table because that would be quite cool. There was one of those mini ones, and as a kid I wasn't really about to play. I don't know why. I was just wandering about because I was bored shitless. But these two people were playing it and they were older than me. In my head they seemed quite old, but in retrospect they were only in like year 6 or something, but old to me. And then one of the guys, I think it's actually a guy and a girl, but the guy thought it'd be a good idea to pull my trousers down. Obviously being a kid I got all upset and really sad and stuff, and I think I probably told the teacher and probably shouted at him. Maybe she laughed, I don't know. But the point was I got really upset. 2 weeks later we were doing the, I got over it by that point, but 2 weeks later we were doing the thing where Jesus gets crucified. I was playing Jesus. I felt really happy about that, even though, you know, I had like 2 lines or something. I was just walking about for the rest of it, about to be killed. But anyway, we were practicing the bit just before Jesus gets crucified in class, and that was alright. And then it came to a bit where Jesus' clothes gets ripped off, and obviously not going to do that to a kid because that is a bit weird. But what they decided the compromise would be, because they had to show something, was that when the person was reading the passage, Jesus got his clothes ripped off, they were just going to pull at my clothes and stuff, and I was just sort of standing there with the entire class looking at me while 2 guys, one of which is still a really good friend of mine, I know him now, and they were just pulling up my clothes in front of the class like this. And then the guy that I'm still friends with, like now, decides to go for my trousers, and I probably thought that was a bit weird, but then he pulls them down in front of the whole class, exposing my underwear. And I just remember that at the second when I could feel them coming down, that sounds weird, the second when I feel them coming down, I sort of go back 2 weeks ago in my head and remember that this has just happened, thinking that it's weird. And while I was having these little thoughts in my head, the whole class were just sort of staring because obviously my trousers down around my ankles. The guy was a bit embarrassed because he just pulled my trousers down. And I remember not even caring a little bit because it's happened before. Bear in mind the first time it was only like 2 or 3 people that saw, and this time it was like a class of 30 and I didn't really care. So yeah, I was just standing there with my orange pants on. You see, I do remember it quite vividly. It's definitely orange pants on. Not caring that everyone was looking at my pants. The moral of this video is, if you're going to have your pants pulled down in front of the entire class, best have it done 2 weeks before by some random kid. I'll see you next time.